where 6 and 7-figure CEOs build their purpose-driven legacy businesses through proven branding, marketing, and sales strategies so that they don't have to sacrifice their income and happiness for their mission. Thanks for watching the Life School MasterClass show. Join our Facebook group community of badass mission-driven entrepreneurs, and come back next week same place and time for our upcoming show.
Hello, beautiful purpose-driven entrepreneurs. Welcome back to another show. Happy Friday to everyone. I'm here with you again with another amazing show and an amazing guest that I have saved for you all today, where I'm sure you're going to walk away with tons of great information on the topic that we will be discussing. But before I go ahead and introduce her to you. I'm your host again. We have lots of new people always joining us. I'm your host, Alona Lapari, and what I do is I help purpose-driven entrepreneurs scale to 6 and 7 figures through proven branding, marketing, sales, and team building so that they don't have to sacrifice their income and happiness for their mission. Like I said, I'm looking forward to introducing my guest today, Elizabeth Montigny.
Montigny, yes.
Awesome. I hope I'm saying your last name correctly. And I know Elizabeth is a life coach, and she helps women stop the hustle for hope so that they can live the life of their dreams. Looking forward to learning more about her background, and how is it that she actually, helps women so that we can have you guys walk away with tons of value out of our interview today. Elizabeth, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Alona. It's great to be here. Yeah, so you nailed it. I'm a licensed life coach, Ziegler life coach, and I coach overcommitted moms to drop the hustle for hope so they can truly live their dreams, whether that's they're an entrepreneur or they have a more traditional role. I've gone through, I've been an entrepreneur for about 8 years, and there was a lot of that time where I was living a reactive life instead of a proactive life. I was kind of letting the day run me instead of me running the day. And that gets really exhausting after a while. So that's what I mean by dropping that hustle life. I do believe that joy, rest, and achievement can all work in the same place. And so I help my clients get there just one step at a time, and that's all it takes to make progress.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. As we are always juggling things, as you mentioned, as moms, whether we have a business or not, right? We tend to overextend ourselves for sure. So what are some of the things that you notice? What are some of the main pain points or things that your clients come to you with? What are some of the things that we need to be aware of that we might be doing that we're like, okay, maybe this is something that it's not serving me anymore, and I can really get help or support.
Yeah, for sure. Time. Everybody is like, I want more time. We all have the same amount of time. It's just how we use it. And usually the problem comes in around boundaries, over committing ourselves, whether it's personally or professionally. And so I talk with my clients about what those boundaries need to be for them to feel in alignment and feel like they're not being pulled in 100 different directions. And that can be a little different for everybody. So, it's something I go through in my sessions. But a great exercise for those of you listening is to, take a look at your typical day. I'm a big person who's into writing things out because that helps get it out of your mind and onto paper, and brings you a little bit more clarity along the way. Write out your typical day, write out your ideal day, compare the two, see what you need to drop, see what you need to delegate. And a lot of the times that's where the struggle with boundaries comes in, right? We're either a perfectionist, we feel like we have to do it, or it's not going to be done right, which is not always the case, right? Or we feel maybe it's not so much perfectionist, you feel like, oh, I'm the only one who can do this. Well, that's not the case either. So really taking a look at that can be a really eye-opening exercise for people. Another thing that I work on with my clients is a lot of times, especially as moms, we feel like we can't have those big dreams and those big goals because we have a lot of responsibility in our own home. And of course, that's true. But I do believe that if you are feeling the pull to this big dream, I think God has put that there for a reason. And it's okay to act on that. And He already gave you permission to act on that. So how can you do that? And I think the overwhelm comes in when we think about all the things that we have to do. But when you take it step by step and, just a little at a time, it's easier to bite off than trying to really excel and 10x something, which is exciting and inspiring, but may leave you a little burned out in the end.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You said so many amazing things, and something that I have to overcome is definitely I can relate so much with the perfectionism. Is
Mm-hmm.
that it must be done right, so a lot of people don't even start, right? So we
Right.
procrastinate, and that's
Right.
kind of where that kind of blocks us from the achieving the things that we want to get done, whether it's our personal life or business or whatever really other area we are trying to really focus on and improve. So, Elizabeth, do you help people in all areas of life? Or you take a holistic approach? Sounds like with moms. There is that what you're?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly the word, a holistic approach. So, in my training and then in my sessions, I work with something called the Wheel of Life. A lot of people in your audience may have heard of it or seen a version of it, but it's basically looking at all those 7 areas of your life that, really everything falls into, right? Mental, spiritual, physical, family, financial, personal, and career. It's everything. Okay. And so no matter what you're doing in life and what season you are in life, we really take a deep dive into each of those spokes, if you will, on that wheel of life. And I really hone in on those first 3, your mindset, your spiritual alignment, and physical, like how are you energizing yourself to do the things that you want to do. If you can get those first 3 kind of humming along, I feel like the other 4 can come along for the ride. So we do a lot of deep dive into that around habits and routines, yes, but just where are you coming from mentally on a lot of this can make so many changes pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love that you hold that space because I think this is something we need to always maintain. It's not like something that we just kind of like figure out a good balance. Because I find like with building a business, especially, and I'm sure you can relate, or, this is an audience of entrepreneurs, is that you feel like you have a good handle on things and then like something else comes your way, or you have like
Yeah.
business growth, or you're working on some other things that are kind of like setting you constantly off. So, I love that you take that holistic approach and hold the space for moms, so that you have a place where you can go and like clean up and like you reset, clarify what you're doing. Clarity is so powerful, not only with business decisions, but like life in general, because a lot of times we're making, rush decisions, we're making lots of decisions, and we need to be able to come from a centered place so that we can make really good, effective decisions for us, our business, our family, everything else that we're trying to accomplish.
Yes, yes, that so many great points there. And something I share with my clients and I've shared with your audience in the link there is something I call a mindset reset. And it's just some journal prompts to give you some clarity. And they're great to keep handy and come back to when those life moments do happen. Like you said, Ilona, like anything can happen, right? We don't know what's coming at us next. But if we're in the right headspace, if we have clarity on what we're doing and next steps, then we can manage those challenges a little bit easier. And you can get some help with that with those prompts. But there's one thing you can ask yourself that solves a lot of those issues right off the bat. And it's just a simple question. And just when it comes at you, or when you're faced with a decision, an important decision, and you have to figure out whether you're going to say yes or no, just simply ask yourself, is this bringing me closer to or further from the life I want to build? And that's it.
Mm,
Sometimes you won't like the answer. I don't sometimes, and sometimes it means putting off a good thing for a greater thing. that delayed gratification. But I think it's a really good question to just kind of put on a sticky note and put somewhere that you can always, go back to.
Mm. Yeah, I love that question. That is so good to train out your mind. And journaling is so powerful. I love that you have created that, because a lot of times we have so much mumbo jumbo up here, and we need to like unload
Yes.
all the things. And journaling is such a great way to do that. It's a great habit to also instill, and not just for. I use it for business planning as well. Like I can't plan in my head. Like when there's an idea that needs to come out, it's like giving birth to a new thing. It needs to just come out, and it needs to be out there in writing, even though it's messy at the beginning, until you get the clarity that you need. And a lot of people having that support that you offer with kind of getting all that into paper, and kind of like I call it strategizing, because I come like from the business
Yeah.
side of things, but still it's what it is. Like you strategize on your life, you strategize on the things that you need to be doing, because a lot of times if your personal life is a lot happening there, it's going to show up obviously in the business as well, right? So it really impacts all areas for sure. Elizabeth, I was going to ask you, I know you are, we speak a lot about faith, and also having faith, having the courage to build something amazing, having the courage to show up, having the courage to fail many times, or whatever you want to call it, take risks, work without sometimes tangible results into this entrepreneurial journey. But then I talk so often over like having faith into, what is it that you are serving other people, and the mission that you are here to serve, and all of that. How has faith, I know you are, personally, and you help moms that are under the Catholic faith, but how has faith personally helped you sort of navigate like the journey of entrepreneurship, and, the impact that you want to make with
Yeah.
people that you serve?
Yeah, great question. Well, entrepreneurship, I'm sure many of your audience can relate. It can be lonely, it can be stressful, but it also can be incredible, right? And so, speaking as a woman of faith, I know it's just so reassuring to me to lean back on my faith and to know that this is all part of the journey. And two ways that my faith really serves me well in my own entrepreneurial journey, but also in working with my clients is, um, we've all heard that phrase, fake it till you make it. I like faith it till you make it. All right. Because I mean, we're going through life here. We're not faking through anything. Right. But
I
if we
like
have that faith, right? If we have that faith, we know that it's all part of a process. And to just trust that if you are showing up consistently, if you're serving your clients, your audience well, consistently and honestly and authentically, that you will get there. It's ebbs and flows in this kind of business, and that can be hard sometimes. So yeah, that's a huge part of it. It's a huge part of what I do, but it's a huge part of just how I show up too. I just want to be that. I want to be a missionary for hope and joy. There's so much going on in the world right now that can really bring you down in terms of, hey, I want to do this thing. I want to reach this goal. I want to serve this audience, but there's all these outside factors, and the way the world is right now is pretty scary. Does it even matter? Of course it matters. You matter. And what you have to offer matters. Somebody out there needs what you have, so bring it. And yeah, and that's just what I try to bring to what I do.
I love that. That is so powerful and empowering, rather than fake it until you make it, faith it until you make it, because it is that kind of journey. And it's so true. If you believe it, if you turn into a mission, honestly, that's how I found that you can sustain, the journey, and to do something that's beyond you. A lot of the days when you don't want to show up, when life happens, when everything, a million and one things always come your way. But if you are just waking, you believe in what you do, first of all, your work, and that's the way that you serve your audience or clients at the highest level, you show up for the people, so you show up to serve, right? And a lot of times that has, I mean, I can tell you how many times it's helped me overcome a lot of the challenges that have come my way, when of course a lot of the you know, a lot of times you feel like maybe at the beginning, like quitting, or maybe I should just try something else, or you're doing something that doesn't work because you're constantly testing, you're constantly adapting, right? So that's why I think faith is so important. And, you know, I also personally believe that, you know, it's a journey. It's a journey, and everything. The more awareness we have as entrepreneurs, the more we can start to align our business with, you know, with our purpose, and the more we can adapt within the vision. So whether, you know, we want to do something, kind of constantly stay very much in intuition and in faith that, you know, whatever is going to come your way, and if something does not work, just let it flow, because it's the timing is off, right? So kind of going with the flow of life, and also adapting to our audiences, our clients, our growth. Everything is like to be so much more in fluidity and focus more on the process and enjoy that part rather than like tangible results. Because sometimes, you know, as entrepreneurs, I know I tend to get, you know, focus or results oriented. And yes, there's strategy, there's things that we could do in our business to get all that going, marketing, sales, all these components that you need to have in place, obviously. But, you know, a lot of times it's skills, it's process that you need to get better, and you need to clarify what you stand for and what is it that you can serve at the highest level. And you always, you know, are improving your results and the things that you do so you could serve at the highest level. So it's always a process of continuous improvement, really, at the end. And I think having that faith and having that mission in you, it wakes you up on the days when you don't really want to show up.
Yeah, you nailed it. You nailed it on everything, right? It's not about you, it's bigger. And, you know, show up for the people you want to serve, for sure.
Absolutely. Well, Elizabeth, thank you so much over everything that you have shared with us so far. Is there any last tips, anything that kind of like common threads? I usually like see common threads with my clients, and I'll speak about that, because obviously if it's happening in, you know, in with so many people, then it's something to kind of talk about so you can help other people as well. Is there something else that you'd like to share with your work that you see most often that you like to increase awareness on? I think it's important.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. Yes, well, there should be a link in the description here that you can click on, and you can get my mindset reset. You can get those journal prompts. And those are some typical things that anybody I work with, we have to go through those and make sure we're really clear on what we're doing and why we're doing it. So go get that, and you just click on the button for my email subscription, and you'll get it for free. And just know that too, if you know you need some inspiration on the regular, I am a contributing writer for Catholic Women in Business and CatholicMom.com. So I try to stay on top of the pulse points and the problems of what people are experiencing in everyday life, and talk about that a little bit more in depth in those articles. So keep an eye out for those. And if you want to join me for a week in the Azores in October, I still have a couple openings for my retreat. You can also see that in the link that I shared with you. So yeah, I would love to connect. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much for sharing that. And as a last question I always ask my guests is, what is that mission that you really feel called to serve and to make a bigger impact with?
Yeah. Yeah, so it really is to be that missionary for hope and joy, to just be a witness to the fact that we as moms, we can have those big dreams and a family, and it's totally okay. And it all goes together, and you can make it work. Your dreams are doable, and get help. Get help from a coach, a mentor, me, you.
Absolutely. Well, thanks so much for sharing that and everything you had to share with us today. We've reached the end of our interview, and I hope you guys join Elizabeth with her journey and everything else that she's teaching and helping moms with. And we will see one another next week with another show and with another fabulous guest. Bye for now. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.